Okay guys, now today's video is on the biggest myth about getting your ex back and how to avoid it. The purpose of this video is to make your ex crazy about you again without feeling like your situation is hopeless, trying things that will never work, despite what other people tell you, pushing your ex further away, risking your ex running into the arms of someone else, without following bad advice, without feeling like you have to do it on your own, which is a terrible feeling, and without the overwhelming feeling that you've lost the love of your life. Instead, we're going to take baby steps so that you can not only get your ex back, but maybe, for the first time, begin to take control of your love life. I'm even going to share the formula with you that I call the CCS formula. Up until now, it's only something that I've shared with my private coaching clients who pay me $125 an hour. I just haven't come up with a way to integrate it into a wider distribution, but this will be the first time that I do that. This video could shed light on the missing pieces to working things out with your ex, because if you don't watch it now, you might lose your chance for good. You know that if you just broken up with somebody else, that somebody's waiting to scoop them up really fast, so time is of the essence. So for the next few minutes, let it just be you and me. Cut out the distractions so you can hear good advice from someone who's been in your shoes and was able to get their ex back. It's kind of surprising, but with all the advice out there on how to get an ex back, and God knows there's plenty, there is something no one ever talks about. Most of the time, people are focused on talking about no contact and limited contact, what things you should say, etc. But in this video, I'm going to show you why this by itself is counterproductive and could even harm your chances. What I'm about to share with you is the number one difference between people who get results with their ex and those that don't, who see them go off with someone else. Oh, and by the way, there is almost nothing that is unrecoverable in a relationship. That means that even if you've made every mistake you can think about and you think you can never have another chance, don't worry. Because once you stop doing the things that don't work, once you stop pushing your ex away, and start doing the things that do, begin reattracting them again, you can see a fast and sometimes immediate turnaround. For example, once you know this one thing, instead of your ex avoiding your calls and texts, your ex will be the one to initiate talking and seeing with you. Instead of begging to have your ex tell you how much they love you, they'll tell you because they can't help themselves. And instead of worrying that your ex is really looking for someone else to make them happy, you'll know beyond a shadow of a doubt that your ex wants only you. You see, the myth is this, that you have to do or say things in the right way or a certain way. Or another version of the same thing, another way to put it, once you get it right, you get the right magic words or the right dirty tricks, etc., then your ex will come back to you. Why is this the thing that could push your ex further away? Because when we're under pressure, most of us aren't acting like ourselves, and we don't feel like ourselves. Since your breakup, you've probably done or said things that you normally wouldn't, haven't you? And this is because you felt all this pressure, all of this panic. And with all of this pressure, we start to second guess everything. Should I send that text? Should I call to apologize? Should I just tell them how much I love them? Did I say that right? Should I have said something differently? If I did, would he or she have come back already? And all of these questions and all of this self-doubt is a problem. And with every step, you become more desperate and needy and you push your ex even further away. It's this self-doubt, this lack of confidence, this lack of being who your ex fell in love with that ruins your chances. You see, when you're so fixed on how to do it right, we lose the essence of who we are, that essence that made your ex crazy about you in the first place. And thinking that you have to do things just right, or that you can't make any mistakes like this, creates a self-doubt factory. The reality and the problem, you see, is that it's natural to freak out and panic and imagine your ex with someone else. If someone has broken up with you, and you're not talking to them, and they're not returning your calls, it's natural to have these emotions. But what do we do with them? Well, it's important to know that no one ever gets it right. There's this idea that when we get broken up with, that we've got to do it right. We have to follow some perfect strategy, but nobody ever does. In any relationship, even the best ones, it's just two people who are doing their best and making plenty of mistakes along the way. And in those relationships, the disagreements, arguments, and fights actually help to foster intimacy and not destroy it. So how can you use this to make your ex crazy about you again? Well, it's the CCS formula, clarity, which leads to conviction, which leads to success. You see, once we have clarity, knowing exactly what you want, not what you don't want. So often, after we get dumped, we know what we don't want. We don't want them to be with someone else. We don't want to not be with them. And we don't want them to not return our calls. But when we get, speaking of clarity, of exactly what we want, we're able to move on to the next step. It's important to be positive with what you want in your relationships, not just what you don't want. So the next step is conviction. The belief that what we're going after is worth it, even in spite of the difficulty. And now you've done this before. You've done this in a new job. You've done this with a new hobby. If you've taken up the guitar or you've learned how to program a computer or whatever it is, nothing that we do at first is easy. But there is conviction that sees us through. And when you have conviction about your relationship, when you have conviction about the person that you want to be with, that comes through, and it's powerful. And that conviction that you want to be with this person in spite of the difficulties leads to success. Making your ex feel for you the way that you did at first, and allowing them to feel the pleasure of desire for you again. Let me tell you what I mean. When you see that you have this conviction, you come across as trustworthy. When they can see your conviction, they can trust you. Instead of just being reactive and your ex feeling that you're just trying to get them back because you lost them, they feel this powerful attraction. It's like a tractor beam. It draws them in, and really, when you do it right, it's irresistible. You see, the thing is that people only see us the way we see ourselves. And so when we go through a breakup, we begin to get down on ourselves and begin to self-doubt, and that informs your ex of how to treat you. Here's a story from my own life. I once dated this girl, briefly, and I'd been a real jerk, honestly. I just didn't treat her very well, and I was ashamed of myself, really. I was embarrassed, and when I saw her, I had two choices. One, I could act embarrassed and self-conscious, which would only make it worse, or I could go in with a smile and with confidence and with conviction that even though I'd messed up, that's not who I am, and who I am is better than that. And as a result, I walked in with this beaming confidence and this conviction of me being better than how I acted, and that gave her a clue of how to treat me. Now, there's been plenty of times when I've done it the other way around and walked in being self-conscious and worried about other people's opinions. And what that does is it only pushes them further away. See, what we have to do is allow our strong emotions to work for us, not against us. That's why the entire first module, Mindset, 6 videos of the M3 system, is devoted to recreating that clarity, confidence, conviction, and success. You see, the system has been created to help you get your ex back, and it's the same system that I've used and that thousands of other people have used. And the most important part is getting you back to being you. Once you do that, you gain such a momentum that you'll see such a difference in your ex that even if they've been stonewalling you and ignoring you up to this point, it's going to be a lot easier from here on in. In it, you walk step by step through how to take control of those negative emotions and flip them around to be empowering instead of the self-doubt factory they are now. After you go through Module 1, you'll feel way more confident, and you'll notice the panic, fear, and desperation is a thing of the past, which will prepare you for Module 2, Method, where the process of reconnecting with your ex is broken down into baby steps so that you'll know exactly what to do, and most importantly, when to do it. Then in Module 3, you'll find out how to make the relationship last so that you don't go on the merry-go-round of madness, right? Break up, get back together, break up, get back together. And you'll even find new, never-before-seen strategies to getting your ex to call you back. All in all, the M3 system is unlike anything else available today because it was created by someone who was once in the same shoes you are now. The fact is, every relationship requires support. This is nowhere more needed than when things are rocky. Look around. Look at the people that have had the most vibrant and happy relationships. Look at the people who are able to withstand arguments and disagreements. When things are difficult and we don't know what to do, that's when we need help the most. Makes sense, right? So if you'd like to get started and discover how easy it is to get back the ex you had before and to get your emotions working for you instead of against you, simply click on the link below. When you do, you'll gain immediate access, no waiting for the mailman. It's a download link that'll be sent to your computer immediately to the M3 system. Your membership is completely confidential and is billed discreetly as clickbank.com. There is no worry about anybody finding out or it being an issue of embarrassment. And also, you'll join the thousands of other members of the M3 community who are creating passionate and fulfilling relationships with the person that they love. Look, no one wants to go through something this traumatic on their own. I know I didn't, and with the M3 system, one of the best benefits is that feeling of camaraderie, being able to not feel alone. So tell me this, if not now, then when? If it's not now that you decide to take control of your love life and get your ex back in a way that you create and not just hope and pray that it works, when will you? Click on the link now to be helped through one of the most difficult times in your life and take charge of your love life again.